Was at the time when no one else was there, helping you get on your feet, even running is a sacrifice. And you can meet me at the top of my time. Swallow my fears to write your side. I should have left you as a friend.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my top nostalgic fragrances. These are fragrances that you often hear me talk about, well, some of them. All of them mean so special to me, so we're gonna get into it. If you would like to see what I have to share for my nostalgic fragrances, please keep watching. Okay guys, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? I am so excited for this video because nostalgia is one of my favorite feelings. Nostalgia is something that brings you back to a happy place or time. Memory, it's an experience, almost like deja vu a little bit. And all of these scents hold such a poignant part of my life and in my heart. They are not all scents that I use or wear very often, but they just mean so much to me, so I'm so excited to share them with you today. I tried not to include some of my most favorite scents that could also be nostalgic, like Bond No. 9 Astor Place. That is probably one of the most nostalgic fragrances for me, but it's in every video, darling, so I'm switching it up a bit. Now, I wanted to start with the most nostalgic fragrance in my entire collection, one that I have recently acquired. It is none other than Thierry Mugler's Angel Eau de Parfum. Now, this fragrance holds such a special place in my heart. This is the first fragrance that your girl ever acquired. This was before I was a fragrance queen, before I had a liking to fragrance. I remember my father went to the mall and he purchased Angel for himself. I believe my mom got the Angel for her and I got this as well. And I'm not sure why my father thought little Keiko, as probably an 8 or 9 or 10-year-old, needed this fragrance, but I had it. And looking back on it, I know I didn't finish it because it takes me forever to finish a fragrance, but I got rid of it and I wish I hadn't. So recently I picked it up again. I needed this in my collection. It's almost like the first luxury bag that I had that I have since sold as well. This means so much to me, and I think I'm gonna call my dad later and share the story with him because I don't know if he remembers this, but this fragrance just meant me being exposed to a world that I knew nothing about. My parents aren't really into the same type of things that I'm into, but little did they know the things that I was exposed to at a young age are things that I'm able to explore now more in depth, like fragrance, and I didn't know how much this would mean to me. This is a really interesting scent combination. I believe there's cotton candy, patchouli, vanilla, very intense notes. What I get in here is something very nutty, like a coconut, an oud, a patchouli. It's fresh, it's sweet, complex, it's beautiful, it is stunning. And every time I smell it or I hold the bottle, I just think back to the simpler times in life when I was a child and I didn't even know how amazing it was to have this fragrance as a child. And now I can cherish those memories so much because this was my first fragrance. And looking at how fragrance obsessed I am now, I'm so happy that I started with this one. I love this one. Let's go with my next blue scent. This is Escada's Island Kiss, and I purchased this last summer. This fragrance will forever remind me of my aunt. She is kind of into the things that I'm into. Hi, if you're watching. And I just remember going to stay with her. She always smelled like this. It's like mango. Let me spray it. I haven't sprayed this in a while. Some of these scents like this I actually just purchased for the nostalgia. This is like mango, pear, apple. This is a fruity scent, a little bit of floral, but definitely very fruit forward. And it's so interesting, when I used to go stay with my aunt, I really wasn't into beauty. I know this is what she wears because now when I smell it, it brings back, like, I know exactly where I was. I was in her home and this is what she smells like. She really is into, I think, fruity florals. And even though I don't wear this all too often, it reminds me of my aunt. And so I like to keep it in my collection. If you want a beach vacation scent, this is your girl. And you can pick it up for a great deal on Fragrance Net, so I'll link it down below. But this brings back so many just amazing memories. Okay, let's mix it up a bit. The next scent I'm sharing is one that I acquired in college for the first time, and this takes me back to college. It is Gucci's Guilty Eau de Parfum. This just smells like fancy, expensive, sexy baby powder. Vanilla, definitely white florals. Something a little sweet, but this is definitely a floral scent, but it's like a beautiful classic floral without smelling old lady-ish. This just reminds me of a really chic woman. She's young, she's vibrant, she's fresh. She might have a little money. She just smells really, really nice. And this was probably one of the first scents that I had ever purchased in my collection. I didn't really start getting into fragrance like that until I was in college. And this always reminds me of college. It reminds me of hanging out with all my friends and playing cards in each other's basements and just having such a zest and zeal for life and being carefree, being young, just living life to the fullest without a care in the world. Like, we were out there as broke college students living life, buying Gucci fragrance, and I just have so many fond memories of all the fun we used to have, each of my different friend groups. And I love this one so much. I don't wear it too often, but it's definitely something that I wear more so at night. It smells like gold. I love it. Then we have another fragrance that reminds me of an aunt. This is Montal's Rose Elixir. And this is, I have to spray these because I haven't sprayed some of these in a while. Oh, it's strawberry and rose and vanilla. Maybe a little bit of patchouli. It just smells like a rich auntie. It always reminds me of my Aunt Cherie. I don't know if she's rich or not, but she's fabulous. I would go spend time with her during the summer and I would wear her fur coats, and she is just like, she's a lot like me. She's a girl's girl. She loves beauty and fashion, and she's fabulous and gorgeous, and this smells like her. You know how some people just have a scent? Now, that's not to say that she has this scent and wears it, but it's fun, it's fabulous, sexy, rich. It's lovely. It's exuberant. It is a strong scent. Now, a lot of people are not very fond of Montal because they say the scents do have a synthetic smell, and I do have to agree with that, but this is just fun. This is my Aunt Cherie, and every time I wear it, I literally think of her. I need to text her after this video and tell her that she might want to try this scent because I just think it exudes her essence, and so I love this one. So as you guys are seeing, a lot of my most nostalgic fragrances remind me of people, and that's really important for me because I'm not the biggest person who keeps up with people. You know, I'm an introvert. I like to live life like this in my little bubble, but there's so many pieces of things in my life, in my everyday life, that remind me of some of the people I love the most, or just people that I've had such fond experiences with, and fragrance does that for me. Like, when I go out later tonight, whatever fragrance I'm wearing is going to always remind me of the restaurant, of my friend, and that's how I like to remember life. I think because I don't have a great memory, fragrances really tie me to experiences, and it's just beautiful. I love it. And that brings me to my next fragrance, which is Cartier La Panther. And this always reminds me of my friend Dominique. You guys have seen him in my vlogs and in a video that we did together about fragrance. We'll have to do an updated one this summer. We were working together and he had on this scent, and I had to have it. Now, I know a lot of people will think that this smells like a little old lady, but she is rich. No, not rich. She's wealthy, okay? She is wealthy. She's fabulous. She's understated. She's not gonna carry an Hermes bag, okay? She's gonna carry a nice leather bag, but she's wealthy. She's not rich. Her essence is not very outspoken. It's a little understated, but she is everything. This fragrance is everything. I can't even pinpoint the notes. It's gotta have some patchouli in here, but some fresh notes, also some white florals. It's a very classic, beautiful, stunning scent. It smells like wealth. The bottle is gorgeous, and it always reminds me of my friend because when I met him, he was wearing this scent, and That's actually how our friendship kind of blossomed. There were a few major things, but specifically he would have one scent and I'd be like, what is that scent? I need it, and vice versa. And this was one of the first that I tried based off of his recommendation and what he smelled like. This will always hold a special place in my collection because it's so gorgeous, but also because it reminds me of my friend. Then we have Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel. This is another special fragrance. This reminds me of my mother. It's patchouli, it's citrus, maybe a little bit of rose, but it's very citrusy and patchouli, very strikingly bold and classically chic. A fabulous woman who wears suits, okay? This reminds me of my mother. Growing up, this is what she smelled like, and she always wore a suit. So every time I smell this, I just think of my mom. It's fabulous, it's citrusy, it's strong. This is a strong scent. It's not very light, powerful, and my mother is small but mighty. So this always reminds me of my mother. Beautiful, classic floral scent. It can be a bit overwhelming for me, so that's why I haven't used a ton of it. But every time I wear it, I just feel so fabulous, like I should be wearing a collared shirt and a suit or a St. John's dress. Like, this is just everything. So fabulously beautiful. A bold citrus patchouli scent for sure. And it brings me back to childhood because my mother used to wear this so much and I love it. Okay, we are almost done. There are so many scents in this room that I have it in my mouth. My next fragrance is Tom Ford's Soleil Neige. And I received this 2 Christmases ago, and this always reminds me of my friend Kendra because she purchased it for me for Christmas. I'm trying to think of how she came to acquire this herself, because the interesting thing is Kendra used to have a signature scent. Now, a lot of people have a signature scent, but this was like the only scent she owned for a certain period of time. It was all she wore. And since meeting me, she's become a bit fragrance obsessed. I want to say she was traveling once and she picked this up. I think then when she got back home, maybe I smelled it and she purchased it for me for Christmas. And I love it. It is not like anything else in my collection. It's also the only Tom Ford scent that I own. Tom Ford scents are rather expensive, but the longevity and the complexity sometimes isn't there for me. But Soleil Neige reminds me of a bright sun shining day in the Hamptons in the winter. A sun goddess. This is my sun goddess scent. It is bergamot, it is citrus, it's an aquatic, fresh, sunshiny scent. It makes me so happy. I'm gonna spray it now. It's just gorgeous. It just feels like crisp morning air right after the sun rises. I want to go to Southampton and wear this in the morning as I watch the sunrise because that's what it makes me think of. But it also makes me think of my friend because this was her signature scent. Well, maybe not signature, but she loved this for a really long time, wore it all the time, and whenever I spray it, I think of her. So that's why this is so nostalgic and important to me. Definitely not something I would have organically been drawn to because it's so aquatic and fresh. A little creamy, but more so just a sun shining day. I love it. It always makes me smile, as you guys can tell. The most popular one is Soleil Blanc, which is like the summer beachy scent. This is the winter beachy scent, and I love it so much. Okay, my last scent that I'm going to be sharing, oh my gosh. So much fragrance in my mouth. Oh. Oh no, ma'am. Oh, I gotta start spraying out. Whew, trying to take me out. The last scent I'm going to be sharing is none other than Paco Rabanne Olympia. This is a really interesting one. I first came across this scent when I was working in the beauty industry many years ago. A coworker wore it. I was drawn to it, but it was just a little too different. And then I think a few years later, I ended up purchasing it. And this is a very interesting scent because when I used to wear it all the time, it was in a rather interesting point of my life. I was working for said company. It was the worst job of my entire life, the worst experience of my life, but the people who always complimented my scent were the clients, and they were who really kept me in a good space there. The clients and also my coworkers, and people would follow me around the office. I worked in a very male-dominated industry at that point, but they loved this. They were obsessed. The men, the women, the clients would trail me because this was such a beautiful scent. Such a strong one too. I do want to spray it because I don't wear it too often anymore. Let's spray it this way. Okay. It's sweet. I get like vanilla, caramel, patchouli, citrus. It's very exuberant and bright and citrusy. It just makes me happy. But oh my goodness, people love this. I do believe Olympia has been discontinued. It's a sweet vanilla citrus with some fresh notes. I love it so much. It's a little unique. It's a little spicy as well. People will follow you around, and you know, as many horrible, ridiculous memories of that working environment that I have, this scent always makes me smile because it reminds me of my clients and my coworkers, and I loved it. I wore it to work probably 3 days out of the week because it made me so happy. And that's another reason why I love fragrance, because even during some different and or dark times, you have to find the simple pleasures in life. And sometimes that means the connections you make and hold with people such as my clients, but also it could be as simple as wearing a fragrance. So I just hope you guys have enjoyed this video, getting to know me a little bit and knowing also why fragrances mean so much to me. This has been just so fun to kind of walk down memory lane with my fragrances and share just how much they mean to me. So let me know down below, what are some of your most nostalgic scents? I would love to know. Maybe we have some of the same favorites. I love you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.